Yes.
And you know, before you said that, I was going to ask a question of whether or not y'all think Nicki Minaj knew she was being mean. That part I get.
She don't care.
She may not.
She's an untouchable.
Well, that's
allegedly.
True. Yes, but the thing about it, the reason why I'm asking that question is because some mean girls may not know that they're being mean. Especially,
no, she knows.
And the other reason why I ask is because sometimes text messages, emails can come off as being mean or condescending or belittling, whatever.
But you didn't intend it that way.
Yes, but you didn't intend it that way. But like you said, she attacked her character.
She's attacked her character, and this is a pattern.
Welcome to the Recycle Podcast, where we discuss everyday issues from a mental health perspective. We are your hosts, Dr. Rashonda Strickland,
Dr. LaFanya Jones-Hines,
and Dr. Nichelle Wall. Welcome back to session 123, Mean Girls. Today's mood music is brought to you by the beautiful Jill Scott, and it is Hate on Me. Hate us!
She said now or later. She don't care.
It don't even matter. Whichever one.
I like that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. So today we're going to be talking about Mean Girls. And the definition is coming from the Urban Dictionary. And the definition is girls who are bullies and use girl aggression, nasty comments, trickery, deceit, excluding people from events, spreading rumors, stealing boyfriends to manipulate other girls.
This also falls in a little bit of toxic femininity as well.
Yes.
We haven't talked about that in a long time, but this is umbrellaed in that category.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. So my question is, how do mean girls learn to engage in negative behavior?
So I would say for some mean girls, it's learned at home. You know, you emulate what your environment shows. So I would venture that maybe their mother may be either a narcissistic mother or manipulative or controlling or something like that. So they are just doing what they've seen.
Yeah. I believe that many of them are extremely insecure. So the mean girl behaviors come from, you know, the defense mechanism that they're trying to build. And as we know, typically defense mechanisms are not healthy. They may, you know, sustain you in that moment, but they're not things that you should be doing for the rest of your life. And so I think that's one of the ways that becomes their norm, and they, you know, project and blame and all of the things.
And I would add to Dr. Strickland's definition by saying that not only are they learning it from home, but I think they're learning it from women, period. Unhealthy behaviors that they see, gossiping, fighting, you know, the stuff that we see on TV. And then I also believe that it's a part of them trying to have some sort of clout, you know, being popular, you know, the most popular girl in school. And so I think they try to continue to keep that status by putting other people down.
Of course, the pick-me can easily slide into mean girl status.
Oh, yes.
You know, these can be multi-layered. It doesn't necessarily have to be you're just a mean girl or you're just this other thing. Because, you know, if you're looking for that clout or I want that boy or I want this attention, then, you know, you're going to do things that try to get other people's attention. And negative sometimes is just as good as positive.
And this still does happen with adult women as well.
Oh, for sure. The whole idea that women are catty, that's where that whole thing comes from.
I mean, look at all of the reality shows.
Oh,
so many of them out there right now.
The amount of table flipping, drink tossing,
shaking tables,
jumping over tables,
pulling wigs.
Yes.
All the things.
Yes.
Straight mean girl.
One of the things that I've noticed also with mean girls is that there is a tendency to have this hive mentality. It's like one person thinks this way, we all got to think this way, and we zoom in and we attack. And it's like a bunch of clones.
Well, and the reason why they all think that they have to think like that one person is because they think that as long as they're attached to them, they are important as well, because they're all searching for something.
And I would add on to both of what you guys said and say that the person that's in the hive is I'm shielded from the mean girl, because that person is seen as the leader.
Good point.
So I'm not gonna be the one that's gonna get the heat, even though in reality you are,
because you're being bullied.
you are being controlled, and you are being pushed into probably doing things that you wouldn't do any other circumstance. Like when you think about the actual movie Mean Girls,
I was just going to say that.
I'm the dark haired girl. I can't
remember her name because I haven't seen it in so long.
Right,
but
I can't think of her name. But like when Regina, that was the mean girl, right?
I don't remember their names.
It was a name.
Y'all gonna roast us in the comments. I'm sorry. Like, look, I can't remember her name, but whatever. The dark haired girl, like ultimately, she really she wasn't like that.
You're right.
But the main chick was like, this is my way, and if you don't, you're gonna catch my wrath.
Yeah.
And avoidance is a real thing. Avoiding, even if it's emotional danger, just avoiding danger is a survival tactic.
Yeah. I was just thinking that when you were going through your description, I was like, the other reason would be survival. Like I have to make it through this, and sometimes it is easier to conform than to stand out, because then you turn that ire, that hate, that energy towards yourself, and everybody is not in a place in their life where they can take that.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, and I think, if you think about it, that's a lot of how we have these these dangerous school situations, because they have been ousted by the mean group.
Yeah.
Whether it's
because we ain't talking about mean boys, but they do exist.
Yes.
Well, those are typically the ones doing the dangerous activities
Yes.
at the school.
Yes.
We trying to not lose no sponsorships.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. But if y'all think about it, like there is a recent mean girl situation going on when it surrounds the academies.
Yes. So, for the Black diaspora, or anybody that's into hip hop culture.
Really? Yeah.
If you've been living under a rock, if you have not heard what has been going on between Nicki Minaj and Latto over the previous week or so. So apparently, Nicki Minaj's song "Super Freak," is that the name of the song?
We're gonna go with that. Yep.
Was being nominated in one of the categories, but it was moved from rap over to pop. On one of her live,
which it is pop.
It's
that
got a pop
particular
feel.
song, that's what it feels like.
I feel like it's got a pop vibe, but not necessarily as pop as like super bass.
Yeah.
That felt like true pop, right?
That's my jam.
So on one of her lives, she was making reference to like, if my song is being moved from this category over to that one, then what does that mean for the song Big Energy, which is by Latto?
Yeah.
And of course, this opens up a big discussion, and
which is healthy. This part is healthy.
Yeah. Now this discourse is not the problem,
Right.
It's when discourse starts to become
personal,
conflictual,
yes,
unhealthy,
yes,
inflated,
yes,
and based in ego,
and conflated. That too.
Good word.
and delusional. Because there's some delusions, fits of it in this situation.
And this is one of those situations where, watching your words is really important, because, as the old folks say, sometimes your mouth can write a check that your ass can't cash. And like, you got to be mindful of what you say.
Yeah, you do.
Because you can insert that foot right in there, and before you know it, you've stumbled upon, and now you are in a situation you got to defend yourself, and you may not have the backing to be able to defend yourself.
Yeah. And I think the bad part about this situation is that she hurt someone who idolized her, because the initial conversation, like I said, was healthy. Like,
Yeah,
I think it was more of a accountability for the Grammys.
Yeah.
Was it Grammys, for the Grammys of like, how are y'all deciding who goes where? Mm-hmm. You know, especially because music is becoming more intermingled. You know, the more we get into things, there's not a whole bunch of true rap, true pop, true R&B, like everything is kind of meshing together. So how do you discern it? Is it based off of what the person says that their category is, or is it based off of something else?
Yeah.
But she annihilated this little girl, and I'm saying little girl because of the age difference. You know, Nicki Minaj is in our age group, and this baby is like our younger brother.
I think she's like 22 or
she's,
something like
I know
that.
she's in her 20s.
She's
I
so
just can't
young.
remember.
Yeah,
And
she's real young.
I feel like this situation made me respect Latto for the way she handled somebody who was doing her wrong, but also, yes, idolized her. But she still kept her boundaries. Like, this was a great example of that. And then I had already lost a lot of respect for Nicki Minaj for the different situations that she's been in over the years as a person. I'm not ever going to take away her ability as a raptress. That's what I like to call them, the raptress.
I like that word.
But she just talked about the girl's looks, talked about her hair, talked about her body, like, what does your situation have to do with Latto, the person?
The person.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know, before you said that, I was going to ask a question of whether or not y'all think Nicki Minaj knew she was being mean. That part I get.
She
like,
don't
now,
care.
She may not.
She's an untouchable.
Well, that's
Allegedly.
true. Yes. But the thing about it, the reason why I'm asking that question is because some mean girls may not know that they're being mean. Especially,
no, she knows.
And the other reason why I ask is because sometimes text messages, emails can come off as being mean or condescending or belittling, whatever.
But you didn't intend it that way.
Yes, but you didn't intend it that way. But like you said, she attacked her character.
She's attacked her character, and this is a pattern. This ain't the first.
Yeah.
It probably is not going to be the last.
But see, that's what still makes me ask that question then, because maybe somebody haven't told her like you might need to revisit. Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, there's been lots of
her
videos.
Her list is extensive, so you got to
Okay.
think she's had beef with Remy Ma, Taylor Swift, Cardi B, Little Kim. And she claims that Little Kim was her idol, but because she felt whatever she felt, she went up against people, even went up against her for no reason. Little Kim is one of them people that is actually very shy and reserved, and has had her business on Front Street since day one.
True.
So if she really had a beef with you, you would have already known that before you brought anything to her.
Yeah.
Also, when she was talking to Latto, she was dissing Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
So it's just like, first of all,
some point.
stay on course. It irritates the hell out of me when people be like, well, I'm going to use this information. We're talking about this.
Yeah.
You over here talking about unicorns and orangutans. So that tears the ever-loving nerves out of my body.
Yeah.
You know, that's the one thing I can't stand is a bully and a mean girl. Like, that is the quickest way for me to come completely out of doctor mode.
Yeah.
Because like I tell y'all all the time, God has finally delivered me from the spirit of slap. But I can wrench back there. I can wrench back
if you need to.
Yes. And I think being a bully and or a mean girl is uncalled for. Because if you don't fit in with the popular crowd or whatever, then that's fine. Then just go find your tribe.
Yeah. You know, I don't know Nicki Minaj, so this is all speculation and just what we've been able to see in the media. But, you know, I think there is when there's a passing of the guard, you want to hold on to your light as long as you can, right? So there was a long stretch of time where she was about a decade where she was the only female rapper of any status. It's not to say that there weren't others, but she was the only one that was really getting major radio play.
Women weren't really rapping like that when she came back. They were more on the R&B scene.
So now you have, insert circa, late 20-teens and now 2020s, you have a whole like crop of, young, fresh, female, fine female rappers that are just as lyrical and stylistic as she is.
Which is why I say, go find your new tribe. Like, you don't have to try and keep, because I think
that's the problem. She never had no tribe because she alienated herself probably a few years into her reign. I don't know if it's because of her needing to hang with the men, and I know that can be hard as a woman in the rap industry. And you can't do things the way men do them and expect to still be okay with women as a woman. Yes. And so if you talking about nobody's ever done it like you, cool. That's normal stuff, that banter.
I'm the number one.
Totally normal. But then when you start singling people out and you talking about them and you talking about their families, you talking about their character, you ain't never did this, you ain't nobody paved the way for me. Like, but then because people bring that up, you have to backtrack and be like, well, that's not really what I meant. Like I don't know what has happened to her, but you can see that she is on a downward spiral. And it is so sad to watch someone of her status, her legacy, just
her ability,
all of that.
I think she's actually a good rapper. You know, like, she don't. There's no need. Again, there's no need for this. Like, your style of rap, your music can hold its own
by itself.
Right.
Yeah.
It does not matter. Like, this is what I go to in my head. How many boy bands we done had in history?
One-hit wonders.
A bunch.
And we loved them.
Right.
We wasn't out here being like, oh, I'm not going to see Immature because Boys to Men is coming. We're going to see all of them.
Yeah.
They might even be on the same tour together one day. Not right now because they doing too much. But it's not like that. Especially in the Black community, we gonna support everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Clearly.
And that's the thing. If we down for you, we down for you. We love your music.
Yeah.
Just like we love Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B.
Everybody.
Everybody.
And I'm not fit to stop listening to people unless you are doing things that I no longer can support.
Right.
Yeah.
We talked about the aura. I can't listen to his music no more because in my head I'm like, he talking about children. I ain't gonna be able to do that.
Right.
But it's just hard. A lot of people say that her downfall became more magnified when she married her husband.
I've heard a lot of that too.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of that too.
And I think it's.
But I can only imagine. This is one of that weird dance, right? Like I can only imagine. We are not celebrities of that status being verbally abused by people you don't know.
Yeah, that's
constantly, literally all day and night, because you have people all over the world that follow you. So being verbally attacked all day and night for the life that you live, the partner that you chose, the way that you ate your food that day. I mean, it could literally be
people are petty.
Anything. So I can only imagine how
that's her husband last name.
Oh Lord.
I can only imagine what that does to your psyche over a certain amount of time.
It's you against the world. It's not literally that, but that's what it feels
that's what it feels like.
But the thing is, has she not alienated herself, she would have support of people that can help. They can help each other through this.
I think she.
So what I was thinking is one of the difficult things for celebrities, and people talk about social media all the time, and how social media has created a lot of problems in society. I think this has also creeped into the celebrity world, because there was a point in time before social media where you would not have this kind of access to somebody of her status.
No.
There was a lot of mystery and unknown surrounding people like this. You would only get sound bites and clips. You would not get this person's full stream of thought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we would not have known some of these things. It would have just been rumors, like the Tommy Hilfiger rumor.
Which is not true, and we
which
thought
is
it
not
was
true.
Right.
Right. So this would have just been a lot of rumors that were spread. And he's like, I ain't say that.
I love black people.
I know.
But we would not have known all of this stuff. But because we have instant access on our phones, on our tablets, for celebrities to literally interact with, you know, I hate to say regular folk, but to interact with regular folk, non-celebrities, we get their actual real-time thoughts unfiltered that have not been done through a publicist. You know, it's so
the first thing you think is not always the thing that you need to type.
Right. So I think that's a lot of what's also happened with her too.
I agree.
The thing about it is, I think if this would have been a conversation they could have had, either, well, not through DM, because I guess that's what we saw, but having a conversation with her in person, on the phone.
They did.
And the thing about it is, why does it even matter? I almost cussed.
Well, you said you was cussing.
I know. Your damn song was put over there. Stay in your goddamn lane. This woman's lane. Let her mind the business that is your own.
And that's part of the problem. Yeah. Like I said before, it's okay that you are questioning the academy, but once you start getting into these other lanes, it's just like, where is this going? Right. What are you doing?
Why this argument wasn't with the academy and the academy alone? That this girl ain't got nothing to do with where they put her music.
And I think this is what happens to the mean girl at the end. Is that there's an exposure that happens, and then, you know, look at every movie or, you know, big version or scene that we've had of mean girl behavior. There is an exposure that happens, and all of that, those layers are peeled away, and people see what's really going on, or they make their own interpretations of what's going on, and the mean girl then becomes the outcast.
Yeah, and I feel like Nicki Minaj has three options. And I've said these before on the show. She's either going to explode, which we are technically seeing. She's going to implode and do something to herself. Or, which we kind of seeing that too, or she's going to heed and become healthy. But she's going to have to unplug. And that's going to be very difficult for her, because she has been...
Because she also came up in an area before social media. You know, she was that late 2010s, you know, there was the baby stages of social media at that point. Like, people really wasn't even having cell phones like that in like 2009. You know, think about when we were, I think I got my first cell phone in like 2004, 2003, something like that.
I don't remember the year.
So like, this is the early stages of social media and just people having access. So she came up in such a different world.
Well, and the thing about it is, she was off the scene for a while when she first got married.
She was when she had her baby too.
But she retired.
Yeah. Oh, so when she came back on the scene, I was surprised. I was like, oh, okay, she coming out of retirement.
And the thing is, she got a following.
Yes.
It's like Rihanna. People been begging for money. Not money. Music.
My money.
Songs playing in my head. But they been begging. When she said she gonna be on the Wakanda Forever soundtrack, people went crazy. It has been dang near a decade since that girl dropped music. That woman, excuse me. So they gonna be there for you. Fans are loyal, and she has they look crazy, but she has some of the most loyal fans ever. The Barbs are.
And her most loyal fan base is our age group.
Yes. Because they were the same age.
Right. So we may be fans of like a Latto, right? So in our age group, you know, we're thinking early to late 30s and 40s and up. We may be fans of somebody like a Latto.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, she good. We like a couple, but that's not the same as being a fan of somebody that was coming up at the same time you were.
Yeah.
You know, there's a certain nostalgia that you have for music that resonated with you when you were coming up.
Yeah. That's why people in our age group love Missy Elliott so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? She was an innovator. Like she was very different than anything we ever saw. Like, we gonna be loyal. You gonna put out a seven song EP. Oh, I got that the first day. You ain't even got to worry about it. So
Yeah.
I don't know if she don't have enough no men and women around her, because she is like watching the situation with Kanye West. It's like, I get that he definitely has some unaddressed mental health stuff that he is choosing to not address. And he said that he don't want to be medicated. He ain't trying to go to see no therapist. I get it. But sir, you are literally destructing before our eyes, and it is hard to watch somebody's legacy crumble like that.
Especially when they have so much talent. Both of them have so much talent. Like, it will be in your best interest to get help before you crumble. And then what? What are you? Everything that you was trying to hold on to so tightly it's gonna slip right through your fingers.
Yep. It's going to become smoke.
Yeah.
You can't catch smoke.
No. It dissipates.
It's unfortunate and very sad. So, you know, I kind of want to say, if you're going to engage in this type of behavior, you might want to think twice about why. Understand your why.
Yep.
Remember, always understand your why.
And it's unnecessary. Work on your stuff.
Work
And
on your,
stop bleeding on everybody else. Because
worry about yourself.
you going to meet the right one on the wrong day.
Yeah.
You might meet the right one on the right day.
That too now.
That too.
Because we're not going to be your mean girl. Okay, we're going to be what? The opposite. Your dream girl. All right. We ain't got nothing else, y'all. So you know we always end off with a quote.
And this quote is from Anonymous. Mean people don't bother me a bit. Mean people who disguise themselves as nice people bother me a whole lot.